In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. War that will never end. War that will destroy all of man, from outside and within.
Hello everyone, I'm Nurgleprobe and welcome to episode 6, Warhammer 40k, Relic. Alright, so Relic is a roll and move game for 2 to 4 players designed by John Goodenough and published by Fantasy Flight Games. So Relic is actually a sci-fi revision of Talisman, which is also an old board game which has been around for quite some time. I don't know if it's from the 80s or 90s, something like that. And if you have heard about that game and know about that game, you already know pretty much everything you need to know about Relic. Relic is, as I said, it's a sci-fi revision of that game, or re-theming of that game. And now it's set in the Warhammer 40k universe. But they also have made the game a little bit better, in my opinion, at least when it comes from when it comes to the base box of the game. There's a little bit more to do. There's a little bit more board gaming action in the Relic version. I like the variety in the Relic version a bit more than in the original Talisman game. So if you don't know about these games, Talisman and Relic though, which I'm talking about right now, is a game where you, much like Monopoly, you roll and you move around the board. But instead of just having a piece that you move, you also have a character sheet, which you can level up. You have a character with abilities, you can gain gear for your character, and you can get XP to level them up, and so on and so on. So basically, you roll a die, move around the board, you land on a spot, and you do what that spot tells you to do, much like in Monopoly. And on these spots, there are different symbols. So compared to Talisman, where you just landed and that spot did one thing, in Talisman, you actually have 3 different colors on each spot. So red symbol is a red card, a blue symbol is a blue card, and a yellow card is a yellow symbol is a yellow card, and so on. And these cards reference to different types of enemies. So the yellow is the Eldar kind of enemy. The red are the orcs, and I believe that the blue are mostly Tyranids. And so there are some theme within each deck. And when you face these, you roll dice, you try and beat the power of that card. And if you beat it, you kill that card, you get it as XP card, or a trophy, I believe, which means basically the strength of that card is what it's worth in XP points. And once you gathered, I think it's 7 or 12, I don't remember exactly now how much you need. It might also be 6 points that you need to gather to level up your character one step. And when you level up your character, you get better stats, you get cards. It really depends on the character. Each character level up differently from each other. But the goal of the game is to move around the board, level up your character, collect better gear, collect better things, so that you eventually can move towards the center of the board. Because the board is made out of, instead of just one ring, like in Monopoly, there are 3 rings. So there's the outer ring, the middle ring, and then the center of the board. And the center of the board is the end game, where there's basically a challenge for each step you take, and you can only take 1 step each turn. And then you need to have a certain amount of stats, or a certain amount of cards, or influence to beat every step. And if you can't beat it, you still beat it, but you will take damage, or lose a card, or something that's negative to you. And if you can't deal with the whole center board, you will be killed, or thrown out, or whatever happens, and you will have to start over, basically. And that is one of the biggest issues with the game. As soon as you get to the center, if you don't complete that, because once you get to the center, that's probably taken you already maybe 2 hours to get there. And if you die there, then you have to start over from scratch, basically. You still have, if your character just dies, you lose a few things, and then you keep your level and stats, but you have to get gear again, you have to get things again, which is kind of annoying. There's also something called corruption in this game, which is, you know, the influence of chaos in this Warhammer 40k universe. So when you defeat or beat or get defeated by certain enemies, you get a corruption card. These corruption cards can then, you look at the card. If it says, for example, a 2, then you need 2 corruption to make that card activate. If it activates, it's played face up in front of you. If it's not activated, then it's placed face down. Activated cards have an effect on you that may give you a positive effect or a negative effect. And if you have 6 corruption cards, all in all, your character is removed from the game and you have to take a new character and start over completely. And if this happens, well, it's not fun. So the biggest problem with this game is obviously the fact it takes a long time. It's a roll and move game. So it takes a long time to play. It takes a long time to reach the end game, which any roll and move game is kind of especially not all of them now when I think about it, but this game, Relic, Talisman, Monopoly, those kind of games that you can't really control what's happening. You either get lucky or you get unlucky, and if you're unlucky, it will take forever. If you're lucky, it can actually be just 1 or 2 hours, but that hardly ever happens. So this game, I like Relic because of the theme. I like the Warhammer 40k theme, and I kind of like the cards that you draw, the abilities that you get, the characters that you play, and that's why I enjoy the game. But I also think that it takes way too long, and this may sound weird, but this game is very, very easy, but I don't like playing it with new players, because I want every player to just be able to roll their die, do their thing, move on, win, kill, whatever they need to do, and then just let the next player play. Because if everyone is with the game and they understand everything and they know what they have to do, it will be faster and more fun. If each player kind of starts thinking about what they want to do, it will take forever, and that is bothersome. It's not, I mean, once we played this game, and I was actually at the center of the board. I was on the last spot. Unluckily, I died on like the second to last spot or something like that on that board, or that circle. And we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, should we just say that I win? And everyone agreed that, yeah, you just won. And I think we'd played for 3 or 4 hours at that point. And that kind of shows you how. And nobody else was even close to getting to the center. I think there was one other player that was close to getting to the center, but not with a big chance of completing it. And to have a game that can't be completed in 4 hours, it's just insanity. So you probably need to house rules a few things to make this game go faster, or either you just play it for what it is and you enjoy that. And if you do, well, that's good for you. A lot of players do. I'm not going to say a lot of board gamers, because board gamers probably don't like this game at all for that fact that you play for a long time and not a lot of things happen. But players that don't play a lot of board games, people that, you know, still enjoy Monopoly, they enjoy this game a lot, because they're like, oh my god, this is like Monopoly, but there's so much more to do, and there's things to kill and things to do and move around and yada yada. This game has something though that Relic does not have, and that is power cards. Power cards is basically a number on a card and some kind of ability usually as well. But these you can trade any die roll for a card in your hand instead, which makes it a bit more board gamey. So for example, if it's your turn, instead of rolling to move, you can just play a card to move that amount of spots that the card says. So these cards are ranged from 1 to 6 and have different abilities as well that you can use instead of the number. But usually the number is kind of nice to use so that you can get to a spot where you need to go, or and so on and so on. It creates a bit of a more bit more gameplay than Relic did. No, not Relic, not that Talisman does. And I kind of enjoy that a lot actually, because Talisman, I played Talisman and I started by playing Relic and then I played Talisman, and after playing Relic, which I thought, you know, it's not great, but I still enjoy it, and then playing Talisman, it was kind of a letdown because I was not happy with how you had a lot less options and you couldn't do as many things. You did not have a mission. That's also something that's different between Talisman and Relic. In Relic, you actually have a mission that you need to complete, like kill a certain kind of enemy or go to a certain spot and pick up a token or something like that. Whilst in Talisman, you just need to find the talisman and you're bored, because that's all you do. You move around the board and you hope for the best. So at least in Relic, you have a mission to work towards, and that makes it a bit more fun. Also, something that differs is that in Talisman you can attack each other, in Relic you cannot, unless you have the expansion in which a few players are evil players, or corrupt players, or chaos players, and elder players, and whatever else it's called. And then you can actually attack players in between there. There is a few characters though that do steal influence or such naughty things when they land on your spot, and that's kind of annoying, but it's not terrible. Unless if you need influence and you lose that one influence that you have, that's annoying. So Talisman, it's not the best game, it's not the worst game. I would suggest not buying it before you try it. If you played Talisman, if you enjoyed Talisman, I would sell Talisman, get Relic, and play that instead, because it's a better game. And if you enjoy the fantasy theme of Talisman and don't want to get Relic because of that, then I would say get a different game. Get a completely different game. Get Small World. That's cute and fantasy, and it's not the same kind of game, but it's better. At least. Yeah, so this has been a follow-up short review or talk around about Relic, which I made a board game sketch on Instagram. And you can find my Instagram on, if you go into the app, you can search for Nurgleprobe and you can find me there, or you can search for hashtag board game and hashtag sketch together, and maybe we'll find it. I don't know how that works actually. I've never searched for hashtags in that way, but at least you can find me on Nurgleprobe. And also, of course, this is a part of a series of reviews that I do, so you can find the other reviews on SoundCloud, on Nurgleprobe as well. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for listening, and I will talk to you next week when we move on to another and probably a lot better game. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.